Hi everyone, my name is Jenny Burak. I want to say welcome to all of you who found me through Suzanne Gerber's Astrology Summit. It's so nice to welcome all of you. I appreciated hearing feedback for the meditation and the speech or the talk that I gave because I didn't hear it, I haven't watched it, and I didn't listen through the meditation healing that we did before I sent it on to Suzanne. So I appreciated all of your comments and everybody who commented and liked and shared. I really appreciate all of the likes with YouTube. And I should have, I needed to correct something I said when I said, if I'm staying on YouTube, then I'm gonna need to play the game. I am staying on YouTube, as far as I know. So, but I should have said since I am staying on YouTube. So welcome to everybody who's new. I this morning attempted a video in the woods, and we just had a late start today. My daughter has a seizure disorder, so she needed to make up some sleep this morning, and so my day was set back a couple of hours. And I was speaking to the law of time on the way to the woods to make the video because I was worried that I wasn't going to be home in time to catch her bus. So while I was making this video in the woods, I had the phone duct taped to a tree because it was so windy. It's really windy today. And right at the very right moment, 2:07. Oh, it's 3:33 right now. But it was 2:07. I noticed that the tape had come off of the tree and it was not even recording me anymore. And I looked at the time and I was like, okay, yeah, I need to go home. So, so I'm making it on my patio. Those of you who've been with me for a while know that those are usually filled with beautiful flowers. But I left them actually last fall because I put half of them in after the first snow had come, and so I wasn't even sure like what was going to come back this spring. So now I'm kind of sorting through getting rid of the annuals and getting ready to replant the perennials. I'll wait until after Mother's Day this year because we had a mid-May snow, and I know all of you, sorry about that, in London, I'm trying to do lighting and keep everything safe from the wind that's blowing fiercely. I wanted to make sure I was well lit, but we're just gonna have to go without that. Okay. I always, whenever I'm doing this, I think of you, Doug, when you made the comment about me being taken out by the red umbrella last year. So hopefully we won't have any tragedies ensue. So yeah, I pulled some cards with Metatron and to talk to you about. I usually pull off camera, but especially because I was going to the woods. Let me just bend down and grab that. Okay, so, and I'm windswept, as you can see, but I figured you wouldn't mind. So, yeah, let's talk about the astrology for this week. So Venus is going to move into her home sign of Taurus on Wednesday. This is Monday, the 12th. So on the 14th, Venus will move into Taurus. And then we've got some goddess action going on. The sun is going to be coming up into Eris. Eris is larger than Pluto. She's just recently discovered, and she's known as the goddess of discord. I see her and a lot of other astrologers as well. She champions human rights and equality. Justice for all is her anthem, and she goes after the oppressor, and she wants the oppression to stop. So it's a little volatile. I have Eris parallel my sun, so those of you who know your natal charts, if you have planets that are parallel by declination, it's the same energy as a conjunction. So I'm pretty feisty. Also very, I like my independence. Let's say that. It would take a lot for me to give that up. So yeah, she's very, and everybody's got her masculine and feminine, but she doesn't like to see injustice, and she kind of takes on the cause, fights for the little guy. So yeah, so we'll see what happens as the sun meets up with Eris. Eris was also involved in the Spanish flu epidemic or pandemic. I'm not sure what we used for the Spanish flu, but hang on just a second. But she was involved in what's happening now. I know Stephen Forrest did a write-up about that, if you guys want to look that up. Okay, so let's get, also, because we've been talking so much lately about hearing from the soul. Last year, 2019, I did a little workshop on the Virgo Pisces axis. We did over 30 healings in that class, just pulling out stories that we all carry, like systemic humanity issues with those signs having to do with martyrdom and sacrifice. Also, Pisces and Neptune, we connect with our psychic and intuitive abilities. And so part of that class was that I held space while everyone looked at the higher chakras. I've never worked with just the chakras in the body. Metatron had me immediately starting with, he always says 15. And I don't know what that means. I only know of 12, but he always says 15. So I guess I'll find out what those other 3 are. Sorry, every time the umbrella turns, it grabs the camera and starts pulling it away. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I want to talk today about the soul star. So about 20 inches, all of you who've had sessions with me, you already know, because we do this in the meditation. So the stellar gateway, it's about 22 inches above the head, and it looks like galaxies, like swirling galaxies. And that's where we connect to source, to the vibration, the consciousness that is pure, unconditional love, the energy of creation. Then the solar star looks like a sun with about 1 million points of light, rays shining out from it. And then we come to the soul star. And this is a very good example. I don't know how they found this, but they pointed this out to me right about the time I had that workshop going on. So this is what the soul star looks like. But this blue is the entire raindrop. So, and it looks like a drop of water. It's the idea that we aren't just a drop in the ocean. We're the entire ocean in one drop. And so this is what the soul star looks like, but it is that blue, like Michael's blue. Sometimes it looks like Mary's blue, but anyway, yeah, it is the shape of a drop of water. And so, yeah, I wanted to share that with all of you. And all of us are connected with the soul star, obviously. But yeah, so it's stellar gateway, solar star, soul star. Then the crown star, we'll talk about another time. That's where key codes are held, and it looks a bit like a lotus flower, kind of with piano keys for petals is what they look like. And they light up in different ways with the different rays of color. When we visit like special sites or places that hold a significant amount of energy throughout the planet, then different key codes are activated in the crown star. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. I'm always hesitant on YouTube because there is somebody who uses my teachings and passes them off as her own. But I just wanted to straighten that out with you because I'd seen something about it, and I wanted all of you to share in that knowledge. But I think we'll talk about the crown star at a different time because that gets a little wonky. But whenever we do attunements with vibration, with the vibration of Archangel Metatron, when I do that in my healings, if you have a first time appointment with me, then he activates different like sections of the crown star. Okay, so I can always see those key codes light up, and then I can share with you what colors they are. So we are reading from The Secret Language of Light, Transmissions from Your Soul by Denise Jarvie. I love this deck, and I think it's really pretty as well. So we just pulled 4 cards, and then we did obviously the bottom of the deck. Oh geez, this umbrella. I don't want it to take off. Okay. So the first card is Soulcraft. The thoughts, ideas, and topics you incessantly discuss are crafting your life. So focus on ones that make your heart smile. You are ready to receive answers from your soul about any topics, thoughts, or ideas you want to change. Be wise in your crafting, and the path of least resistance will call you. Oh, hang on, I lost the page now. This is almost as chaotic as it was in the woods. Sorry. Alrighty. Maybe we're pausing there for a reason. The path of least resistance. You know, I always say, I was just talking to one of you about this in a session too, that when things are meant to be, the doors just fling open. You know, whenever, like I was meant to go on a trip a couple of years ago out of country, and I couldn't find my passport. And I kept saying, like, to my friends who are readers, are you sure? Are you sure I'm still going? Because I wasn't really getting any information. But I knew that if that was going to happen, I wouldn't have been able to find my passport. I'd never have problems with that. I always know right where it is, and it was gone. And then, of course, once that time went by, when it was clear I wasn't going, the passport showed up. So, path of least resistance. Always, whenever we're just getting stop, then, probably not the right way to do it. Maybe the timing's wrong, but always it goes along with the path of least resistance. The doors will be open if it's meant to be. Different soul vibrations will inspire different actions. If you are feeling tired, your inspired action will be to rest or sleep. If you are feeling love, you will be inspired to do things that emulate love in your day. We all sense with our soul, but often override it with the rational mind. Trust your soul is bringing you the most up-to-date information. And that's true, too, that, it can change because, like when I asked one time with a situation having to do with timing, they explained it by saying, like, all of the cogs in the wheel have to come together. Everything needs to align. And typically that will involve more than just us. And then we have healing. Be illuminated by love and truth. Right now, healing is taking place to support your understanding of the gifts in your experiences. Weird or difficult circumstances can often be a fast-track path to your desires. Until we recognize subtle imbalances, the best way to clean up outdated beliefs is to have our buttons pushed. Buttons are created by continued attention to unbalanced thoughts, ideas, or beliefs. Every time we are reminded of or talk about a hurt, it pushes a button and reopens a wound that we are yet to heal. Words are created by wounds are created by mental, spiritual, or physical trauma. Poking at them will prolong the healing process. Leave them alone so balance can be restored and wholeness can return. Inspired action for healing may include seeing a therapist, consulting a medical professional, spending time in nature, and focusing on what you love is also healing. All is perfect in every moment, even if we cannot see it at the time. And, that's something that's so, like I was just sharing with one of you, that Jupiter can be kind of a taskmaster in the way that he brings in blessings. Like the way he did it once for me made me want to leave the planet. But a couple of years later, I realized that all had unfolded for my benefit, and I was grateful for it. So you know, we did have a lot of planets, big boys involved in this last new moon. I want to mention now too that on the 14th of December 2020, we had a new moon eclipse, and the South Node and Mercury, which I believe in this instance we're going to use him like the counterpart. He's the counterpart energy. Mercury and the South Node were at 24 degrees of Sagittarius, which is where Juno, who represents partners, she is moving retrograde from that point. And because of what else was going on in the astrology of the new moon, we knew that partners, especially romantic partners, could be an issue. So this is just another indication that there's going to be a shift. Of course, Venus is going to move up and talk to Uranus, and that will also, you know, bring a shift. And most likely it could be something with our habits or in the physical body, but it could be people that we love as well. And then we have visualize. Your imagination is a magical superpower that develops the content, look, and feel of your life. You can use your inner vision to maintain or transform anything in your life. Visualization helps us to create a dream life without the perceived boundaries of the manifested world. To take your dreams out into the world, recall your vision of them as you meditate. Let the dream become a feeling that leads to a knowing that is so deeply ingrained, it will become an automatic response. Through repetition, this response gains momentum toward the tipping point between vision and manifestation. Now that you are privy to this universal law, relax and enjoy the journey toward your desires. When a desire manifests in your physical life, a new desire will be born in your imagination and a fresh path will unfold. And that's so important, that point that she makes about the feeling it. If we can, you know, when we truly believe something, we can feel it, and it's then we believe it. You know, it's sort of like tricking your, if you want to say it that way, trickster, right? Mercury, the mind. It's like, how do you want me to say that? Okay, training your mind to believe that the best is unfolding. And he's saying, seeing ourselves at the finish line, and what does it feel like to reach that goal? That will help us along in reaching the goal. Okay, and then next we have whispers. Tune in to your soul voice. Your mind and heart are expanding to hear your soul whispers. You are or will soon find it easier to interpret and understand the vibes of your soul through how you feel. Open the door to soul whispers by feeling appreciative. Close the door by feeling judgmental. And that's a lot of times the judgment we put on ourselves. The messages are always there, even if you are not receiving them. Practice feeling soul vibes to clarify your intuition and psychic senses. Just like we know a dog can hear sounds we can't, your intuition interprets waves and impulses outside of your conscious awareness. This card is prompting you to take notice of your dreams. When you are asleep, you cease conscious thought and resistance, making it easier for you to receive soul transmissions. If you embrace the messages that come through your dreams, you will invite more of the same. If you don't like a dream, see it as a sign to shift a focus or change a belief. And really, we should be having a lot of dream activity now. Sometimes we can have a traumatic experience when we're younger that can cause us to close that door off, but you know, we can always do healing work there to bridge the divide, is what he's saying. And just simply asking, he's saying too, just simply making a request to your soul. A lot of times we see the soul as like some sort of authority figure outside of us that's, you know, putting demands on us. I'll say, and I know I'm not the only one who has seen her higher self talking to her like looking like Wonder Woman lately, because some of you have shared that you've had the same experience, but she did look stern the last time that I talked to her, and I know why. I know why she's stern. But yeah, not angry, you know, they don't really have the capacity to be offended. But yeah, you can always connect to your soul. And most of the time, and I've seen other readers too, I'm not going to say what their soul looked like to them, but a lot of times we can see them as an angelic, or, you know, mine is funny with me. Like one time she was J-Lo. Yeah, just being funny. But always just be open to receive it, because, you know, they really are always in a cooperative stance, is what she's saying. And then the last card is soul family. Your soul family wants you to know how much you are loved and how well you are doing. Your soul family consists of other souls that have similar values and ideas to you. The bright circle of light at the center of this image is Shambhala. Think of it as a meeting place where your soul family gathers to connect with you. When you ask a question, its energy vibrates throughout the universe, bringing souls and their light beings to Shambhala to share responses and information. They are overjoyed to connect and co-create with you. Your questions and experiences on Earth move you and them to an expanded awareness about love, life, and purpose. And then I actually crossed out some of the next part, so I'm not going to read it. So whatever... Okay, when we know it in our hearts when we encounter a member of our soul family, even if we can't explain it. We often refer to this as the meeting of a soulmate. Remember, a soulmate comes in many guises. Pets, friends. That's why you have to be careful to be specific when you're requesting a soulmate to come in. And I guess this is why he was bringing this up to me earlier when I was walking into the woods. So the soul family, obviously ancestors are part of that, which is the Pluto energy. And I know when I see myself meeting with soul family, we usually are in a big house. So, you know, it's different, I think, for all of us, how we bring that knowledge forward in a way that our human brains can understand it. But typically we're in a big house. And I know, like my kids' friends that have told me that they've met with me overnight, they always said that they went to the big house, they called it. So you could see it that way. It isn't necessarily going to be like a place that's all, you know, pure white light. But it is a place where, you know, in your dream, you'll feel, he's saying, wanted, approved of, accepted. So it's a nice place to request to visit if you are so inclined. And, you know, when we're talking about what the Fool believes, it's so important that we now, shift focus away from yesterday, including 10 minutes ago, you know. Part of releasing the past is releasing the feelings of guilt or burden or debt. You know, a lot of times or grief too, connected to the past. So important to say that, so that your subconscious hears you saying that you release guilt from the past or feelings of failure or doubt in yourself. There's so many things that we keep on board in order to be sure that we stay humble. Being small and feeling like you're less than is not a way to get to humility. So is there anything else, Metatron? Okay. So he is talking about shifting our focus from fear. So, you know, and I suppose I'll address this too, since he brought it up. When you see like warnings going out about false light, I had somebody once who channels Metatron legitimately, at times, many times, but they were actually talking about me without using my name, telling a story, and they were sharing the story as if it was coming from Metatron. And I was looking at him like, what the hell is going on, because it wasn't true what they had guessed happened. And he looked me right in the eyes and said, that is not me, that is so-and-so's, he said the person's name's ego. That's false light. That's the big scary thing. It's just that a lot of times people can be bridging the connection between themselves and the creator, coming from like a space of ego, and then you're typically getting a lower vibration of those energies. The way to connect is to just go into the light, or become one with the light in that energy of pure unconditional love, and then see the vibration coming to you. Because when they are our ego, they look exactly like they do. They just always look like they do. So you can't differentiate through sight. It's really like, would an archangel be mocking and making fun of someone who's going through a healing crisis? Probably not. So that's the way that you can tell, is if it comes from fear or judgment or mocking, then that is not the actual vibration of, the creator's archangel. Of course, Bailey comes and stands in front of a camera the day that she's wearing emergency clothes. Do you want to say hi to people? No? Okay. So Bailey just wants to see what's going on. Bay is a Gemini, so she likes to socialize and connect with new people. So, all right, everybody, I think, so just, the way he's pointing out that the way to differentiate is, do you go away feeling inspired and filled with hope, having a question answered, feeling the vibration of love, or do you come away with fear? And it either comes from fear or it comes from love. If it comes from fear and, ooh, bad guys, that's just their own stuff that they have not worked through yet. So anyway, all right, everybody, let's be careful with our thoughts, because we're in this really magical energy, planting our seeds. All right, everybody, take care. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye.